Well, folks, a new Catholic school is coming to Thief River. They hope to bring faith and learning together.
Half of the old Knox School fell through the ice late last night.
St. Bernard's School will open its doors today.
St. Bernard's broke ground today on their new brick building, which will be a school and church under one roof.
St. Bernard celebrates 50 proud years, honoring its roots and looking toward a bright future.
St. Bernard's Playground was updated earlier this week for students and families. Excitement is in the air at St. Bernard's. The new entryway is complete, and it is a sight to see.
There's a huge crane out on 9th Avenue today, installing the brand new
We
steeple.
are celebrating our 100th anniversary and want to invite everyone to our Centennial celebrations.
I moved to Thief River Falls when I was 4, and at that time we joined the St. Bernard's Church.
What year was that?
1948.
Well, I came at the very end of November of 1969, and then Paul's my son and Gannon's my grandson, and they followed to St. Bernard's.
The pastor was Father James Bernauer. Said we're looking for a principal, so I interviewed and started here in the fall of 1976.
I started here in 1996, and I've been here for 29 years now.
I don't know where to start. Actually, I wasn't considering to be a principal when I taught all those 22 years, but God has a way of saying, I've got a better plan for you.
In the summer of '93, I wanted to get a job somewhere in Thief River Falls in education. I got a call from the principal just asking if I wanted to be interviewed, so I did, and they hired me the same day. So that was the summer of '94, and I have been here ever since.
The story of St. Bernard's School is one of ordinary people with extraordinary faith. Over 100 years ago, they dreamed of bringing Catholic education to Thief River Falls. But the path to building that dream was anything but easy.
In the early 1920s, Father Neusen wanted to have Catholic education here in Thief River Falls. So he bought 6 adjoining plots of land and decided that this would be a great place in order to start Catholic education.
They wanted to build a brick building, but the pastor didn't want to expend that money, so they purchased an old school building, the Knox School.
Well, they needed to get it over here, across the river, to the plots of land that we are sitting on currently. The problem is getting it across a river. So what they did is they cut the school in half, chopped it in half. As the river froze, walked it across the river. First half, not a problem. The second half, they tried to get it across the river, and at that moment, the train whistle went. The train going to Red Lake Falls was about to leave. Well, the crew was from Red Lake Falls.
Quitting time, so they left the other half on the ice, and they came back Monday morning.
The school is in the river, sunk into the river.
It had sunk
to the bottom of the river, and they had to jack it up, I guess, on pilings, and then they had to leave it there for a few days, probably to dry out, but also so the river could freeze so they could finish moving it.
think they had to let it sit for a while for
Yeah,
the ice to refreeze.
ice to refreeze.
But then they brought it over and put it back together.
And I understand from former sisters who taught here and worked in that building that there actually was a water line somewhere on the first floor that never really went away. I believe it would have been during the summer of 1923, the school was set up in the location we are currently sitting in. The doors officially opened in the fall of 1925 under Father A.I. Mirth. The first teachers were actually 6 sisters from Mount St. Benedict in Crookston. Because of them, we're here celebrating 100 years and counting.
I think if the sisters were here today and they could see some of the wonderful things that we have done, how we are living our faith, we are embodying it, we are folding it into everything that we do. We have it in our theme of go make a difference, that they would be so pleased.
They would be pleased to see that there is still an active, dedicated staff who isn't paid enough, but is here because it's their ministry. All of the sisters who were here years and years and years ago wanted to make sure that they were educating the kids to be the best that they could be.
Classes continued in that same building until 1949, when the parish built a combination church and school. And we continued in the same school until present day. In 1989, we were able to put in the new addition of our new church.
I've watched this church go from, the entryway where I went to mass at, to this big addition, and then now I've been fortunate enough to watch the new entryway too.
I was so happy that we could afford to send them here. I felt that they would get more learning in a Catholic church, Catholic school. We had quite a few sisters at that time that were teachers, and they were all kind, and they believed in discipline, and there was discipline in the classroom so that the children could learn without having to deal with a child that was being disruptive.
It was very, very strict back in my area, which is 40 years ago, going to school. So I don't remember too much mischief, and if there was, it was handled quickly.
Karen Pirkin, and I graduated from St. Bernard's in 1962. One of my favorite memories is when I went to school there. It was full habit for the nuns. Later on, after I graduated from high school, they went to regular clothing. And Sister Placid came down the steps. She was a music teacher with white go-go boots on. My heart almost stopped.
Sister Caroline, I'm sure you've heard her name before.
Sister Caroline Liebel.
There was a sister, I believe in 5th grade, named Sister Caroline, and she was hard to beat. Everybody truly enjoyed her, and she was a wonderful, wonderful lady.
You want to share the peanut story?
Yeah, she would, to reward the kids when they were good or had some, she'd have what you call peanut showers. You did regular peanuts, and she'd throw them out on the kids, and they loved it.
And all these peanuts would be coming at them from her, and it seemed to be something that was really something they liked.
That's what made them love her, I think, is because she was strict, but she loved them, and they knew that.
She had Thief River St. Bernard School in the crook of her heart like I do.
So here we are today on the solemnity of St. Bernard of Clairvaux, our patron saint of St. Bernard's. And we are celebrating 100 years of Catholic education. We're going to celebrate with a solemnity mass and a rosary and a meal and a movie outside, a color run, scavenger hunt. and a block party and tours and being able to just bring the community together. So here we are, being able to continue what was started in 1925, to build upon those dreams of Father Neusen and those 6 wonderful nuns who were able to start Catholic education.
We're celebrating success. Success in the program, success in the people that are working here with them. Total success. We're still here and growing.
This parish and this school will always be kind of a beacon of good, well-rounded students coming from St. Bernard School.
They're getting taught the true meaning of faith and being a better person and being a better positive adult.
They learn to be respectful and polite and courteous to everybody. When I come to Mass during the school year, there's children running ahead of me. They always hold the door. It's not just because I'm an old grandma, they do that for everybody. Isn't that amazing? So they're learning not only how to say their ABCs, they're learning a lot.
I think in the next 100 years, I mean, you could forecast a lot of different things, but I think the Catholic education is going to grow. It's a wonderful deal to be able to go to school, be taught religion, be taught morals.
This school is offering the best education that their families can take part in, and it always has been that way.
You know, we've been around for 100 years, and that is a long time, and we have been through a lot. What will never change is our mission to educate and guide families to grow and serve in the love of Jesus Christ. Here's our new logo, and here's our new mascot! Woo!
That is cool.
Yes.
I like this. What are you looking for?
Sometimes when I walk through the halls and I see some of the older edges of the doors and the wood is just hard, and I think of everything that the former principals, the former teachers, the families, the parishioners have gone through to ensure that we are here today, 100 years later, on this site, still continuing the tradition of Catholic education. It just amazes me, everything that they have gone through. And I know that it is going to be my legacy to be able to continue that tradition, to be able to bring us into the next 100 years of incorporating faith into northwestern Minnesota, to Thief River Falls, to hundreds and thousands of people, and bring that love of Jesus to everyone.